Let's talk about Dansby Swanson. Dansby Swanson, and this is actually a deal I liked. Good job, Chicago. Dansby Swanson signed a 7-year, $177 million to play shortstop for the Chicago Cubs, joining Nico Hoerner in order to create one of the best up-the-middle duos. If you're unaware of Nico Hoerner, you will definitely come to know him soon. He is a young player. He just put up a WAR over 4 with the Cubs last year, playing shortstop. When we spoke with Justin Steele on a previous episode, who is a lefty for the Chicago Cubs, he called him the most underrated player in baseball. We've heard that from other players on this podcast too, that to watch out for Nico Hoerner. When we were talking to Ryan Helsley, he called Nico Hoerner the toughest at bat, or at least one of the toughest at bats that he's had. And now you get Dansby Swanson. But the thing is with Dansby Swanson is there is a lot of hoopla of the fact of, is he worth this contract, right? Because Dansby Swanson on the other side he's not a proven commodity like Xander Bogaerts is, or Trey Turner is, or like Carlos Correa is. This is Dansby Swanson, who had an amazing year last year, especially with the glove. But he's a very hot and cold hitter. Overall, he had a 116 WRC plus, so he was 16% better than major league average with an amazing glove. And I think the glove is going to stick. I remember we talked about it on the show. Colby and I, who is our analytics guy, you've heard him on Not Gambling Advice, you've heard him on this podcast, we saw the numbers of like the outs above average on certain balls in play, like backhand, charging in on a ball, glove side, all these different things. We're like, how did he get so much better? And it was clear, we looked at it, and we read some articles too about Dansby that he actively works on these things. I believe in Dansby as the workhorse. I do. I think that Dansby at his worst is going to be a league average hitter with well above average defense. You say that the arm isn't very good. Yeah, but it hasn't impeded his defense at all. Like, I could understand, I guess, if he's 35 years old and you want to move him or something like that, but I just don't understand that. The arm has not impeded his defense. He has a very quick release. He gets the ball over to first base, and it's not like he's losing runners. He's not making errors. The glove is still very, very good. And I like the bat. Like, everybody's talking about, is he a league average hitter? He might be a league average hitter because he doesn't walk all that much. And I understand that, but you have to also remember that walks aren't everything. Guy hits almost 30 home runs a year, back-to-back seasons with over 25 home runs, steals over 15 bags, drives in runs, been there before. This felt like a good deal. Now, was it an amazing deal? Do I love the deal? Absolutely. No. I said that on a TikTok because I was looking at what the market and how I compare these shortstops to the rest of the market. But looking back on it now, I like the deal. I do. I think the Cubs got better. I think that Dansby Swanson is an above-average shortstop, and an above-average shortstop in this market, think about it. He got more than Javier Baez. I'd much rather have Dansby Swanson than Javier Baez, and this is even in a more accelerated market in terms of dollars. I like the deal. How do you feel?
Yeah, I was thinking he would be, if this happened a year sooner for Dansby Swanson, he's obviously not getting this. I don't even think he's getting 6 for 140 that Story and Baez got. Like, I think he's checking in a lot less than that. I think he's maybe a $90 million deal. I think he might be looking at the Benintendi deal, 5 for 75, if this happened last year. So was this truly an $100 million swing of the season for Dansby Swanson? The signs point to yes. And I have a lot of yes or no questions that I asked myself after this. Was this more of a testament to the 2022 Dansby Swanson season as opposed to Dansby Swanson, the baseball player that he has been for his entire career? Yes. He got paid for a 2022 season. He got paid coming off of a 2022 season. But that's fucking baseball, folks. Like, Aaron Judge, he got this money because of his 2022 season. He's not getting this contract if he doesn't have this year. That's the beauty of a contract year. You can put so much behind you. And think about what these guys do. Matt Flynn played like 4 good games, and he got millions of dollars committed to him, right? He was paid like a franchise quarterback after a couple of games. Dansby Swanson just got paid like a franchise centerpiece after one really, really good year that has been kind of worth this value. Now, do I think that Dansby Swanson will age really well? I do. I think that Dansby will always be an incredibly smart defender and an incredibly smart hitter. I think that he can get even smarter offensively, and I think that he will only get smarter defensively. It's not like you get dumber over the course of your career. I think that he is a presence that the Cubs so badly needed. And I also think that shortstop is a place that they needed to fill big time, or one of the middle infield spots is a place that they needed to fill big time. And Nico Horner is an exceptional defensive shortstop, but he is also going to be an exceptional defensive second baseman. And you can pair him with a guy with more offensive upside and as good at defensive numbers. And you've got all these bats coming up that are corner infielders and outfielders, and you've got all these starting pitchers coming up. The only shortstop I really see that could make an impact for the Cubs is Christian Hernandez, who is like complex, DSL and complex right now. He's not even in low A ball right now. So he's off. Like he should not be in Major League Baseball at the start of the contending window. You need a shortstop, you need a captain, you need an anchor to be the lead guy, to be the shortstop, to be the two-hitter at the beginning of the contending window. And they just got the guy in Dansby Swanson. So overall, this gets a massive stamp of approval and 2 thumbs up. But I do think that, they paid for what they just saw over the last 6 months. And it was a damn good 6 months. I don't blame them one bit.
I don't blame him one bit either. I'm just tired of hearing Dansby Swanson, the 1-year wonder narrative. I just feel like that's so freaking lazy because.
But okay, but point to the other year that warranted this contract.
Well, first of all, in 2020, I know it's a shortened season, but he had an 809 OPS and was at least fine with the glove. But remember, he's improved that every single year. And year over year, he keeps improving. Like, this is not a 10-year vet in the league. His first real season was 2017 and then 2018, where he wasn't that great. He was a below league average hitter. But then 2019, 750 OPS, starts to get rolling. 2020 in a shortened year has a great year. Then 2021 has a slightly down year, but still hit 27 home runs. And we saw the improvement in the glove. And then he put it all together last year. He was second in Major League Baseball in FWAR. If it's a 1-year wonder, and if it was just, he had one good year, no, he had one amazing year. Like, overall, yes, he had a better WAR than Trey Turner, than Bogarts, than Edman, than Adames, than Seager, than Bichette, than Correa. That's how good he was. And let's say he drops 2 WAR. Let's say he drops 2 WAR from last year. Next year, 2, which is a sizable drop. He would have the same WAR as Corey Seager. And Corey Seager got 10 for 325. That's why 7 for 177 seems like a good deal.
Now, was 2022 not double his previous best in FWAR?
It was. And that points to the defensive, that points to him getting much better with the glove. And do you think that's going to get worse, stay the same, or get better?
I just said that it's not going to get worse. What I am saying is there is some validity to the 1-year wonder thing. And I agree with you where it is not, he had one good year and the rest of the time he sucked. It's he was always pretty good. And then this year he took it to another level, and it just so happened to be his contract year. Like, he had a pretty good career, and then he had an amazing 2022. And that's what bumped this. He's an $100 million guy. If he does what he did in 2019, hey, how about even 2020, right? Like, he does what he does in 2020 over a full season. He's an $100 million shortstop. He absolutely is. But what pushed him from 100 to 177 is doing what he just did. Having his best year by far, literally doubling his career WAR best in a single season in his contract year. That's why he got that much money. So, yeah, you're paying for what he just did because that's how baseball works. That's how free agency works. You pay for what a guy just did. That's why Cody Bellinger's on a prove-it deal. He's on a one-year deal. If he was paid for what he did in 2017, 2018, he's a $100 million baseball player.
And that's why Aaron Judge was offered a 7-year, $213 million deal and then got 9 for $360 because he had the greatest season, or one of them, in MLB history.
So that is a one-year swing for Aaron Judge. He was always amazing, but he wasn't Roger fucking Maris until this year. And now he got paid like Roger Maris would get paid. You know what I mean?
Here's also my thing, is I don't see much regression here for Dansby Swanson. I don't see regression in the glove. I only see it maybe staying the same. Maybe he works on that arm strength. I think that's very possible that he sees that could be a whole long term. Works on his arm strength. We've seen it before. Like if he improves on his arm strength, the glove stays the same, and he puts up 25 home runs with 20 steals next year with a 750 OPS instead of a 776 OPS, and plays great defense, he's going to be a 5-WAR player. That's one of the, if he finishes with a 5-WAR, that would put him 5th in Major League Baseball last year. And this is some overpay? This is some bad deal? You can't tell that to me. I like Dansby Swanson. I'm a Dansby Swanson guy. But at the same time, what makes me nervous is I trust Alex Anthopoulos with every bone in my body. I think he's about as good of a GM as we have in our game. And I love the way that he hasn't developed players, but the development within the Braves system has been amazing under his watch. And they offered what's been reported a 6-year, $100 million deal for Swanson. So they were $77 million off. That alarms me because what do they know that I don't? I'm not perfect. What do they know? Right? But at the same time, how do the Braves operate? They're always going to lowball you. They offered Ozzie Albies 7 for 35, Acuna 6 for 100, or at least something like that. Even the Matt Olson, there's a lot of these deals where they've always underpaid. So again, it's like, what do I trust here? So I'm going to trust what I think about how Dansby Swanson is as a player. Will he be a 6.4 F4 guy? Will he be the second best shortstop by WAR in all of Major League Baseball next season? Probably not. But would I be surprised if he's top 5? No. Would I be shocked if he's out of the top 10? Absolutely. That's worth it in this market at 28 years old. Give me Dansby. Love it for the Cubs. Makes them better. But at the same time, Cubs have much more work to do. Let's talk about what this means for the Cubs. Because have you seen the rotation? Have you seen it? You've seen it. It's not that good. Stroman is the ace right now. You tell me what you think about that one. Kyle Hendricks. I like Justin Steele. And it's not biased just because he was on the podcast. We already liked him, and that's why we wanted to bring him on to talk to him. I was a big Justin Steele guy. I was on bets with him all the time. I think he's a good left-hander. Adrian Sampson. It's not a great rotation, Jack. It's just not a great rotation. I might be forgetting somebody right now. This is off the dome.
Tyone.
And Jamison Tyone, there it is. Who was the 4 for the Yankees. And he was fine. And they paid a lot for him. I don't think that this Cubs team, even with the Dansby Swanson signing, is going to finish second next year. I still think they're years away, but I love that the Cubs are spending money. They are a big market team. They owe their fans this. This deal makes them better, and I like the direction that they are going in. I didn't love the Stroman signing, but this one, I like this direction. That's all I have to say on this one.
They've got a lot of time buyers on the hill. That starting rotation is a mix of guys that are on close to expiring contracts and young guys. So it is Stroman, Hendricks, and Tyone at the top. After that, we're looking at Wesneski. We're looking at Steele. We're looking at Killian. We're looking at Adrian Sampson. We're looking at Adbert Alzolay if he's healthy. Shit, maybe Keegan Thompson gets a couple of starts. And then who's coming through? Wicks is coming through. Hers is coming through. Cade Horton. Ryan Jensen. Franklin. More that I'm forgetting. Palencia, although Palencia might be a bullpen guy. Like there are a lot of options here. Ben Brown, I forgot about Ben Brown, who might be a bullpen guy as well. Like they have quantity over quality of young arms right now. And I think that Wesneski is a quality young arm. Aram loves Wicks. I can't speak to whether I love him or not. I haven't seen him pitch live yet. But every piece of data that I've seen on Jordan Wicks screams he is likely going to be a good pitcher. Ben Brown, really hard. I think that he can be a really good pitcher. Palencia throws 103. Like there are so many options here, and Tyone for 4. Hendricks on an expiring deal that you can't move. Stroman on a close to expiring deal that you can't move. Like that's the big problem there. So you got, those two cogs at the top, which makes top end talent right now really hard to come by. But do the Cubs want top end starting pitching right now? Like they're not close to winning.
I agree.
Best case scenario, they finish 3rd in the NL Central.
Yeah, which I think they will. They should. I mean,
That's
the Reds have done
case.
The Reds have done absolutely nothing, and the Pirates have made a couple of moves, which we'll actually talk about in a second. But overall, I think we both agree. We both like the Dansby Swanson signing. We're not in love with it. It's not the perfect deal in the world, but it makes them better. I think the market is about right for him, and the Cubs are heading in the right direction. And as a fan of the Cubs,
they got the right guy for when the window's going to open.
Exactly. And that's all you can ask for. What else do you want him to do? So overall, very good job by the Cubs. And I'm excited to see what Dansby does. I'm a big Dansby guy. I'm a Dansby believer. Sue me.
Yeah.
All right.